Hey everyone, has anybody ever thought about going and trying to go scuba diving? If so, I'm here to explain to you today of how your basic scuba equipment is set up. First, you'll need three items. You'll need your tank, your BC, and your regulator. Your regulator is a long hose that comes from the back of the tank around to your front that you breathe out of with your mouthpiece. First off, you're going to need to take your tank, set it in front of you to where the valve is pointing away from you. Once you've done that, pick up your BC, which is your buoyancy compensator. It's your vest that you put weights in to hold you down and that your tank straps to on the back. Pick up your BC. Take the strap. There's a strap on the back of the BC that goes over the top of the tank. Lace the strap over the top of the tank and wiggle it down about halfway down so that the top of your BC is level with the top of your tank where your valve sits. Once you've done that, tighten the strap that you have laced around your tank. Once that is complete, you can then pick up your regulator. It should have 2 or 3 hoses coming out of it. On your right hand side, you should have a hose that is your main mouthpiece that you breathe out of. And then coming around your left side, once you have your BC on, you'll have a computer that tells you what depth you're at, how much air you have in your tank, and so on and so forth. And you'll have a backup mouthpiece on most regulators. So you take your regulator, and your top piece of your regulator, you have a valve that connects to the valve at the top of the tank. So you connect it to the top of the tank and you screw it on until it tightens. Once you've done that, there's a knob on the top of the air tank that you unloosen to let air flow through your regulator and get into your BC. Air flows into your BC so that you are able to float. You can deflate it or inflate it depending on if you want to float or if you want to go down to the bottom. Once you have connected your regulator to your air tank, it'll then turn your computer on, so that way you will be able to see how much air you have in your tank, you'll be able to see what depth you're at, and so on and so forth. Once that is complete, you'll need to do a test run, testing your mouthpiece, see if you can get air out, test your computer, make sure it is also working. Then on your BC, you have weights that slide into the pockets of your BC on most BCs. If your BC doesn't have the pockets that your weights go in, then you'll have weights that come separately that you'll wear like a belt. My BC, I have weights that go inside slots of my BC. And what I do is I just get in the water once I have all of my equipment on, and I adjust the weight. The weight, it basically just helps me stay down and not float to the top, because the skins that I wear when I'm down there, they also make you float. Plus your BC, when you inflate air in it, it makes you float to the top. So most of the things that you have on will make you float. So once you get your weights adjusted and you have on all your skins, you have your flippers with you, your goggles, your snorkel, all the other little pieces that you'll need for your dive, then you can pick up your BC, since you'll have your tank and the regulator already attached to it, throw it on your back, strap it down, and then you're ready to jump and dive into the water. Just make sure your regulator works and there's no leaks. If there is a leak, most likely it'll be at the top of your air tank where your valves are, and you'll know it because it'll be bubbling a lot. So if you see a lot of bubbling at the top of your air tank, you should probably tell your buddy. Your buddy should probably tell you, and y'all probably shouldn't do the dive. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed.